You know what? 20 years ago to this day, you know the Minnesota Timberwolves played in their first and only Game 7 in franchise history. It was a win, by the way, over Sacramento, but it was in the conference semi. Maybe a good omen for tonight.
They're going to need the good omen, and they're going to need to play good basketball because they're going up against the world champs. But it is now final, both the game and the series. It is a Game 7. Let's get everybody set up for success. The world champs home floor. Big ask, obviously, for the Timberwolves. But you know what? They won the first two there at altitude. See what's going on. All the biggies are there for both sides. Second quarter, Nuggets up 10. Jamal Murray missing, but there's Nikola Jokic. 13 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists in the first half. 5 assists. And the Rich Creamies led by 15 at the break. Early third, they stretched that to 20, but here come the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards stealing. All the way in, takes that. He did not have a particularly great shooting night, just 6 of 24. But he made that one go finally, 2 of 10 from 3. The Wolves outscored the Nuggets 28-14 in the quarter. So now it's a ball game. Mike Conley, step back 3. It's good with 3. His dad was a great triple jumper, got a gold medal and everything. Wolves up by 3. 5 to go. Jamal Murray in the lane for the floater. Murray and Jokic combined for 69 points. The rest of the guys, 21. Edwards misses. There's Naz Reid. Give me Naz. And the bench is like, we are going to the conference final. Down 20. We are now up 7. Nuggets. Conley gets the steal. Over to Edwards. We showed you the first. There's the second one. And so down by 20. Now they're up double digits at 10. Wolves, 93-88. Conley missing, and look at the big cat. Karl Anthony Towns comes right through there and handles the rest of the business. And the Wolves, Game 7 on the road. They take 3 of 4 in Denver. Win this one 98-90. Congratulations. It's going to be the Wolves and the Mavericks.
Love it.
In the conference final. Minnesota back from 20, as we said. That's the largest Game 7 comeback in the last 25 seasons. They passed the Cavs, who came back from down 18 earlier in this postseason.
Team's playing good defense right now. Let's bring in more perspective. Our NBA champion, and by the way, newest member of the Texas Basketball Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Famer as well. Kendrick Perkins in the Sports Center. What's up, Big Perk?
What's up, Brian? How you doing, my brother? I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely, man. Congrats to you. Let's talk about this. I mean, the Nuggets, the defending champions, they're up 20. They're at home, and they lose this game. When you watched it, how? How did they do it?
Well, I picked the Minnesota Timberwolves to win this series in 7, but it's because the Wolves are starving, especially on the defensive side of things. Look, Anthony Edwards, he probably had his worst game, the worst game of his young playoff career, right? But at the end of the day, he led the charge by his tenacity and what he brings on the defensive side of things. And then all of a sudden, we're watching Karl Anthony Towns play Nikola Jokic, the best player in the league, 101 on the block. And Naz Reid, 6th man of the year, he comes in off the bench and was huge on both ends of the floor. And so when you think about the mixture of veterans and young guys and the camaraderie that they have, they've been the best defensive team all season long for a reason, and it's led by Anthony Edwards.
So do you think when they were down 20, and especially when you look at that second half, I remember at one point in the third quarter, I mean, I think Minnesota may have scored 28, 14 points just for Denver. Was it the defense that turned this thing? What turned this game, in your opinion, for the T-Wolves to win it?
Well, I thought this was a Karl Anthony Towns legacy game. In a moment in the game, a crucial Game 7, where Anthony Edwards was getting double teamed, he couldn't find his offense. Karl Anthony Towns was that guy, right? Whether it was him stepping out on the perimeter, him attacking the basket, having patience on the low block, I thought he came up huge, along with his exceptional defense that he's played on Jokic. And when you think about Minnesota, right, a 20-point lead in the NBA is not safe at all, especially when you're dependent, when the team that's like the Minnesota Timberwolves depend on getting stops, right? And so after a while, you know, you're on the sideline and you're saying, okay, let's cut this down to 13. Okay, let's cut it down to 6. All of a sudden, they take the lead, and it's a new ball game.
So let's flip the script and let's go on the other side and let's talk about the defending champs, because when you look at it, you've got Murray, who had 35. You've got Jokic, who has 34. So you're thinking, okay, we're at home. Our two best players are rolling. We have kept the Timberwolves to just 39% from the field, 29% from three, and you still lose? What do you think held them back from getting another title?
Well, I mean, look, I've been saying all season long, when it comes down to the defending champs, right, they have the best starting five in basketball, in my opinion. They have the best duo in Jamal Murray and Jokic. But Michael Malone, although he was a little, grumpy, he said it. They needed somebody else to step up. And you look at them losing Bruce Brown this offseason along with Jeff Green. Those guys were huge for them last year during their championship run. And so it's strength in numbers. You got to have a bench, and the league have shown us this all throughout these playoffs and through the history of the NBA. Guys have to step up off the bench, right? You have to get more out of Michael Porter Jr., who's in your starting five. Caldwell Pope, he needed to be more consistent. But at the end of the day, a team will always outdo a two-headed monster, and that's what we saw tonight.
That's a good point. I mean, Aaron Gordon only had 4 points. Michael Porter Jr. only 7. KCP just 5 points. So that's a really good point. So now here these young pups, the T-Wolves, are headed to the Western Conference Finals, taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Both teams defensively playing well. Size up this matchup for me, Dallas and Minnesota.
Well, look, I understand. Look, you look at Dallas right now, you got guys like P.J. Washington, Derek Lively, and also Daniel Gafford. They playing tremendous basketball, being stars in their roles, and then some. But when you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves, they have that it factor, right? They have that certain type of belief that they believe that they could go on and win the NBA championship. And guess what? I believe them, especially when they're being led by the best young leader in the game in Anthony Edwards. When I think about their roster, they're deep as hell. They all buy into their roles. Rudy Gobert is going to be special and be better down throughout the rest of these postseason. His biggest challenge was getting out of this series. Karl Anthony Towns, he has the confidence. Let me tell you how big of a leader, how great of a leader Anthony Edwards is. Donovan Mitchell couldn't get this out of Rudy Gobert. Jimmy Butler couldn't get this version of Karl Anthony Towns that we're seeing right now. Anthony Edwards can, because his tenacity is contagious.
Who wins that series? Who wins the Western Conference Finals, in your opinion?
I got the Timberwolves going to the NBA Finals. They win it in 6.
Wow. A big perk. I love it. Big perk. Appreciate the insight, my brother. Thank you, man. Congratulations again.
Appreciate you, Brian.
Dave McMenamin with Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. He's not going to get up a shot, but he'll probably get a question launched or two.
Karl Anthony Towns, longest tenured member of this Minnesota Timberwolves team. For the first time in 20 years, you're back in the conference finals. What made you believe that you could turn it around in Minnesota?
It's people like man next to me, Rudy, all these guys in his locker room. They're all willing to sacrifice for the greater cause, for the win. I think tonight was just a great showing of Timberwolves basketball. Everyone sacrificed, everyone stepped up, everyone got the job done. I couldn't be more prouder of our state, the fans, and our guys in this locker room for getting this done.
Talk about a grinded-out game. You had Anthony Edwards struggling to shoot early, Mike Conley struggling to shoot early. Even yourself, you started 1 for 5. What was that offensive explosion from you in the fourth quarter, including the turnaround jumper?
I think just trusting each other. Obviously we didn't start the game the way we wanted, but we kept our composure. Down 20 at some point. We kept trusting one another and we kept getting stops. And when we do that, anything can happen.
This is for both of you. You had to take down the defending champs, including a 3-time MVP in Nikola Jokic. What was that battle like against Nikola all series long?
He's one heck of a player. I think that it speaks for itself. The awards, the accolades, his game speaks for itself. We got the 4-time Defensive Player of the Year as well. And I think that we just did a great job of just making it hard for him, making it tough for him to get those points all series. And it's people like him who make our defense so special. So shout out to Rudy Gobert.
Did this mean something to you? Was there something personal to it?
I think it's a team effort. Obviously, Nikola is the best player in the world. It's been the same way for the last 4 years. And it takes a team effort to slow him down. And Cat did an amazing job on him the whole series. And as a team, I thought we did a great job also taking away some of the other guys like Michael Porter trying to make Murray work harder, and some of these guys like try to take away their threes. So total team effort, and I'm really proud of every single guy in his locker room for the work that they put in every day, and believing in what we try to accomplish, because the job is not done. We're only halfway to it. We're only halfway to where we want to go, but it feels good to beat a team like the Nuggets.
And talk about don't stop believing. We'll get away on this one. You got the Dallas Mavericks coming to the crib on Wednesday. What's it going to take to get 4 more wins and get to the NBA Finals?
I mean, we got to play better than we played even this series. We got to step up our execution. Our defensive identity has to be there every single night against players that they have. It doesn't get easier the more you go up the ladder. So, man, isn't it great? 20 years later, it's only right we do it on KG's birthday again.
How about that? For the first time in NBA history, a team comes down from down 15 at the half in a Game 7 to win. Congratulations, guys. Enjoy it.
Thank you. That's who we are, baby.
Yes, sir. KG, happy birthday, boy.
Well, KG's birthday, we know anything's possible. And that's what happened here.
Right.
Scoring the Nuggets 60 to 32 in the second half, 60 to 37, excuse me. So Mavericks versus the Timberwolves this season. The nice thing is, remember, the Mavericks now have to go to Minnesota, which is good. Dallas is hot. The Wolves obviously got the better of them in the regular season, and look at them offensively, really, really good, despite giving up 50% shooting to Dallas. They'll have to lock them down. Best defensive team going. On SportsCenter, Nuggets coach Michael Malone.
Did you feel like there was anything that you guys got away from offensively in that stretch after you reached that point?
I'll have to go back and watch the film.
How hard is it just to absorb a loss like this after going ahead by 20?
Next question, man. The season's over. That's what's hard. Being up 20. The season's over. You don't understand that. The season's over. It's hard. Stupid-ass questions.
Nicole and Jamal, coach, carried a lot of the burden offensively for you guys. What sort of broke down between them within the second half, just within those actions?
Well, I think so much was being placed on their shoulders. I mean, it was, we're expecting Nikola and Jamal to continue to pull rabbits out of their hat, man, and somebody else got to give some help. I mean, Joker 34, Jamal 35, and, we just struggle to make shots. They're a really good defense. I thought our guys played extremely hard tonight to hold that team to 98 points, 39 from the field, 29 from 3. But as I said all series long, are we going to be able to score enough in this series? And once again, in the 4 losses, we couldn't score. I think now after the 4 losses, we probably average around 85 points a game and 115 in the 3 wins. So we had it going. Jamal had it going in the first half. We scored. And obviously at halftime, they picked up their aggression, ran off our misses. They became aggressive. And then the second half, they totally dominated the glass. We dominated in the first half. In the second half, they rebounded us 29-15.
Coach, were you satisfied with the quality of the offense in terms of the process of getting shots, or was it one of those things where you thought that missed shots kind of affected what you guys did on that end and on the other end as well?
No, I mean I don't think our missed shots affected anything except the scoreboard. I mean, again, they shot 39 from the field. Anthony Edwards was 6 of 24. So the missed shots didn't affect anything other than us not scoring. But to give up 98 points in a Game 7 on those percentages, I'll take that all day long. Was our offense where it needed to be in that second half? I think it could definitely have been better. We could have gotten probably better looks. But again, for 82 games, they're the #1 defense for a reason. And we just weren't able to make enough shots and create enough good shots in that second half.
Coach, after a great first series with Michael Porter Jr. shooting the ball, what do you think happened in this series to his game offensively?
They guarded him. Yeah, they guarded him really well. And obviously against the Lakers, he was able to get off. I don't know what the percentages are, but in our 4 losses, I know Michael didn't shoot the ball well, and he wasn't the only one. But, he was 3 of 12 tonight, 1 of 6 from 3. Last 2 games, they doubled Nikola. I felt a lot of those were good looks. Just didn't go down. And I know, sometimes it's an oversimplification of the NBA being a make or miss league, but we just did not make enough shots in this series, Michael included, but he wasn't the only one. We as a team did not make enough shots, and I didn't help generate enough good looks maybe to help ourselves. But every series is a learning opportunity, and this feeling sucks, as I told our players. You go from training camp all the way through, and then it comes to an abrupt halt, and that hurts. So use that feeling as motivation and come back a better player. We won it last year. Teams in the West, they regrouped, they retooled. How are we going to beat the champs? And teams got better. And you got to tip your cap to Minnesota. Obviously, Chris Finch, their team, Anthony Edwards, all their players. That was a hell of a series, and they gave us all we could handle. And they wound up winning Game 7 on our court, which is a tough one to swallow. But we'll be back. We just got to find ways to look inside, look outside, and find ways to continue to get better.
Coach, to fight for a top 3 seed and then to ultimately lose 3 home games in this series, how, you mentioned them winning on your home court here in the holler and in the locker room. How tough is that to swallow that you guys did lose the 3 home games?
Well, of course, we have one of the best home records in the NBA this year, and to lose 1 and 2 and then to lose 7 is, I don't think anyone could have predicted that happening. I think most people had the series going 7, but not the way it went 7. It was kind of a strange series in that regard. But yeah, that's to let them come in here 3 times and beat us on our home court. That's something that we're not accustomed to. And if you're going to try to win a championship, if you're going to try to get to Western Conference Finals, obviously you got to protect your home court.
New on SportsCenter after Kendrick Perkins, Chris Finch. He's got more games to coach with the Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Chris, you're down 20 on the road
Yeah.
in Game 7 to the defending champs.
Yeah.
Like, what did you see from your guys that were allowed to pull this thing out?
I mean, the effort was there. We just had to – our offense kind of went sideways in the first half, and they really upped their defense. They were very physical, and we just talked about, kind of getting back to simplifying our offense, if you will. I thought we were trying to over-orchestrate matchups and mismatches and all this other stuff, and kind of played right in their hands. So we just had to get back to kind of moving the ball. We didn't shoot the ball particularly well, typical Game 7 in that regard. But, even when we were, down, like I kept looking at the field goal percentage, and we were in the 40s, in the 30s. Our defense was there. And then it went to a special place in the third quarter, where we've been able to take it at times. And, just everybody just kind of, bucking up and making plays and executing the game plan. So,
What was the moment like for you at the end of the game? You got hundreds of Wolves fans cheering for you, and
man.
just you closed it out. What's it feel like?
First of all, I'd love to really like to say thank you to our road support, both in Phoenix and here. It's been a ton of Wolves fans in the building. It's been great. I know that they're enjoying the ride, and we really appreciate their support. Special moment, man. This is a hell of a team with the best player on the planet, and this series was wild, and this game was just a microcosm of the entire series. Teams getting a big handle on each other and just trying to fight through it. So.
Rudy, Naz, and Jaden.
Yeah.
Does that just kind of speak to this team and, I know the confidence that everybody plays with when you guys are at your best?
Yeah, I was really proud of Naz. He was a little frustrated because we kept kind of pulling him out. I think, Cat was playing so well and just wanted to kind of keep going back to that. But he stayed in it mentally, made big plays, made hustle plays, obviously, they did a great job of throwing multiple bodies at Ant, made it tough for him all night, and that always leaves up other opportunities. And Jaden came into the series from a scoring point of view in Game 6 and continued it today. We got a couple end of the shot clock lucky shots to go in, which we needed. But when you're playing the right way, and you create that amount of luck. So.
Jamal Murray, he's trying to explain it.
I just think I could have been better. Obviously, when I feel like today, we generated great looks, but we all shot below 50%, every single one of us. So it's tough when you get the looks you want and you don't make them, and they come down and they score. It's like, what more could you ask for? You know what I'm saying? So I was below 50%. Mike was below 50%. Kay, Yoke. I mean, I felt like we got the shots we wanted. The opportunities were there, and our defense was there. I just think that run, the run that they had somewhere in the second half, we couldn't recover for that one.
Jamal, coach said that he wasn't going to make excuses, but that the starter specifically, he could tell we're gassed between the deep run last year and then having to just play more minutes and play to game 82. Could you get that sense a little bit, that he just had to rely on you guys a little more than maybe he would have liked?
I'm not worried about being tired. I've been playing in Denver for 8 years now, so I'm used to the altitude. I'm using to finding my second win. Doesn't even make sense. I'm playing the game. I played 42 and played 43. So, I don't know.
Jamal, it looked like they did a better job over the course of the series of posting you guys up, and like with Cat and with Nas and those guys. Just how difficult was it to switch it, like doing a defensive scheme, like switching the entire time? Like, were they getting the looks that they wanted?
No, they got 3 bigs out there, so that's part of their game plan. I feel like we did a good job. I feel like we just didn't make shots, on top of that. Obviously, they're going to score. They have great players, We had our opportunities tonight, and we didn't make them, and that part stings.